What's going on, everyone? Welcome back for another episode of Everything Vive. I am Zane, here with Ronnie. Ronnie, how's it going, man?
It's going great. I'm glad to be back. Had a long vacation with the family, and just got back. Ended up getting delayed about a day due to serious mechanical issues with the plane. But luckily, we didn't encounter any of those problems. We just had our flight delayed a day or so, and now I'm back. So
Absolutely. Well, we're glad you're back safe and sound. Yeah, everyone. Literally, Ronnie just got off the plane and is at home. So we do apologize. This is coming a little late, but it is still holiday craziness kind of carrying over. But we're back. We got some news and a couple of items today, all Vive centric. Ronnie, you ready to jump in?
yep, let's do it.
All right. So first one, CES is coming up, and KwikVR announced that they will be set to debut at CES. And KwikVR is another wireless solution. They're going to be available for both Oculus and the Vive. It's coming from Scalable Graphics, which is a cloud solutions company. And they're claiming 100% compatibility, 12 milliseconds of latency, 4-hour battery life, and that'll go over Wi-Fi. So it's cool to see another player in the game here. I mean, I'm just waiting for this stuff to become available. I know TPcast is another company that is already available out in China, and KwikVR is what we mentioned a while back. We're still waiting for an announcement from them, but with KwikVR announcing here, I wonder how soon they'll have something available for consumer ready. But what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, no, I mean, my initial thought was if it's 12 milliseconds of lag, that might be a little bit worse than what TPcast was offering. I'm not sure if that's like after or before, the lag that's already there. So that would be one thing. I'd be curious to see like what people's impressions are upon using it at CES. It is pretty cool that it's universal. So the fact that it works for both systems would be a plus, especially for people that, own multiple systems, or, there's people out there that own both an Oculus and a Vive, especially people that'd be willing to, put down the cash to get a wireless setup. And if it works with both of those systems, it might even possibly be compatible with future headsets. So that's another thing. If it's that open, to working with different headsets. So either way, I mean, it's pretty cool that so many companies now are getting into the space, because that probably means that it's going to be sooner rather than later when your average person playing VR is going to be using some type of a wireless solution.
Yeah, that's my hope. And honestly, what I'm really curious and excited to see is which company is going to hit the market first. I mean, I know TPcast already is hit in China, but who's going to be make the first mark here in the US, and how is that going to shake up? You know what I mean? Like the whole early bird gets the worm versus second, second mouse gets the cheese type of thing. Like, I'm just curious to see how all these different companies are going to shake up. Who's going to make it first? Because the thing is, like, for me, honestly, like I'm at the point where whenever the first one becomes available, I think I'm ready to make that purchase. If the reviews are good, if everything like shows that it's good, like I made this investment into, VR, and obviously with us doing the podcast, even more so, like definitely want to be at the forefront of where this is going. And so if there's a reputable company that has a quality product out and, that's verified to be good quality, I'm ready to pull the trigger right now. I'm just waiting for one of these guys to say, hey, we're shipping in the United States. And obviously that's different for people, people listening around the world, but I'm just curious to see how this is going to shake up, because I think this is the fourth company, and I can't remember the name of the most recent one that we talked about, but we'll look that up and put it in the show notes. But I feel like we've come across 4 companies now that are either affiliated with, directly with HTC or Valve or Vive, or, third party companies like KwikVR. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah, no, and I mean another important thing to consider. I mean, along with releasing first in a region, a lot of these products become really hard to get, and people end up getting on wait lists, and then basically, the first shipments get sent out, and then it takes quite a few months before second shipments are out, et cetera, et cetera. So given the limited supply of some of these types of products, at least based on what we've seen in the past, that does give people incentives to, as soon as they find out that there is a wireless solution coming out and there is an official date and it is coming here, for people to jump on board. So even if, one system might possibly have a little bit worse lag than another, or, not a ton of impressions are out. I mean, if it seems like it's good enough and it's available, I feel like that's probably going to be enough to convince a lot of people that have been waiting for this stuff for a while to just jump on board and kind of get set with that type of a product. So I don't know. It's interesting.
And we've talked about, the whole early adopter market and how that's kind of played out so far. I mean, and again, we're talking maybe a couple $100 here. I think I've seen $200 to $300 in terms of where these things might be priced. And again, that's not pocket change, but for anybody who's made the investment into VR this far, I feel like paying that extra couple $100 to really redefine your experience will be totally worth it. And I just feel like I'm definitely not the only one with the same mindset where the first one that becomes available, sign me up. I'll be right there. So, yep.
No, I need to start practicing my flips so I can I can try a flip. I have no idea how to do flips, but I guess if there's a reason to pick up gymnastics, it can be to show off and with friends with your wireless Vive setup.
Well, then maybe they'll come up with some crazy gymnastics based VR game. They'll track your flips and grade you, and you look around, you can see the judges, see how if you landed properly.
Yeah, for all three of those people out there that are able to.
Yep. Yeah. Well, you never know, man. It's some hidden talents out there, I'm sure.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. Well, so we covered KwikVR, and that is spelled KWIKVR, just to clarify. And again, we'll have that up in the show notes. So if you guys would like to look into it further, feel free to. The other item is actually really exciting, and this is actually very specific to a certain game, but Onward, which is the military first-person shooter. Dante Buckley is the sole developer behind that game. And he posted on the site there that he was invited to continue developing at Valve's office starting in January. So now essentially. And,
wow.
Dante's been a big part of the community. We've heard some awesome things. Haven't had a chance to connect with him directly, but, I play Onward. I remember buying the game shortly after it came out, and it's so cool to see this because I feel like it's every developer's dream. Like he's essentially being taken under their wing. And I don't, nobody knows really what the arrangement is. That is, there's no public details on that, but you got to believe that the amount of resources, the amount of guidance and everything that he's going to receive from that, will only help the game. And, I feel like it actually means a lot for Valve to take a look at this and say, hey, this guy's onto something here, or, they're onto something here with this game. I feel like instead of maybe like trying to come up with something on their own along those lines, they might have seen it as, let's jump on this train. Like he's already laid out a solid foundation. All of the early adopters have gotten into this game. So, it makes a lot of sense from that angle, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, it reminds me a lot of kind of, stuff that Valve's done in the past. I mean, you look at Counter-Strike is probably the biggest example of a game that, Counter-Strike was a little different in that it started out as a mod for Half-Life and then kind of expanded into its own game later on when Valve ended up, I guess basically hiring the people behind it. So this in a sense is like that, only it was a different, it was already its own product from the get-go. I think Valve is really smart in connecting with him and, bringing their resources into play. I mean, just in general, I think that's a very good sign that, I've personally been interested to see what they've been, what their focus is going to be going forward with VR, because obviously they've been a huge supporter of the Vive and of, Steam VR in general. But, as we've waited for, more and more actual announcements of games that they're developing and whatnot, to see them also doubling down on some other some other projects and products that are already out there is also very cool. So
Yeah, I mean, we're all waiting for, what Valve has coming down the pipeline. No official announcements yet, but I mean, just based on what the lab was, everybody's super excited to see what Valve puts out. And so I'm not going to
yeah,
say that this is going to get them off the hook by any means, but them being involved with probably one of the top 5 most popular games available on the Vive right now. And I
hmm
mean, it can fall anywhere on the list, but for some people, like, that's their number one. And right now, in terms of like military first person shooters, like, I'd say that you could make an argument it is the best game out there on the Vive, in that category. So for them to
yeah,
kind of dip their hands in and hopefully put whatever type of magical touch they can with their
yeah.
experience, with their insight and everything that they have at the office. And I mean, they're half the reason that the HTC Vive is out right now. So
Yep.
you got to believe that it's gonna improve the game that much more. And yeah,
Well,
I mean,
and
I'm excited for it. So I'm gonna start practicing,
yeah.
because I'm not really that good at Onward. I played a lot, but I feel like the learning curve is pretty steep there. So I'll have
Yeah,
to make sure I
yeah.
get up to speed on that.
No, it can be pretty intimidating. I mean, the other cool thing about the fact that Valve's supporting an online multiplayer game in VR is the fact that I think that will, increase the likelihood that players will continue to support the game as well. I mean, we've talked about it in the past where there's kind of that trend of the core Vive owners kind of moving from multiplayer game to multiplayer game as new things hit the marketplace. And seeing Valve double down on Onward, for example, or continuing to see the great support that games like Rec Room and Smashbox, their developers, are putting into their online communities. I think this is a really good sign, and I think if developers and Valve and others that are able to support the original developers are able to continue to put resources into these games, they can actually get better and better and more mature, and in effect, I think lead to some pretty cool, new, exciting VR experiences. Because I mean, one of the things that another thing we've talked about, I guess, is the fact that a lot of games and experiences in VR tend to be kind of a one note type of deal. There's a lot of focus put into one type of experience or gameplay mechanic, and that gets exercised in a game, and that's pretty much it. Well, the longer a game stays out, the more players are involved, the more the community gets involved, the more, greater the likelihood that new types of gameplay mechanics, new types of experiences in VR will be developed. So a game like Onward, it just like Counter-Strike or Dota 2 or some of these other games that are out there that Valve supported, they evolve over time because those resources are being put into them. So I think that's another thing to look forward to. Hopefully, with the Valve support of Onward, is a continual evolution of what's possible with a military shooter in VR, and hopefully we'll see bigger and better things coming out as time goes on. So
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see a single player campaign on that thing, because multiplayer, it's great, it's fun, and I mean that's what the game was kind of designed for. But
mm-hmm.
just with any game, like, you want, like, everybody's looking for, I'm putting air quotes here, for more depth. But if they can get the resources now to focus and really make the game an all around, like every other military first person shooter out there, and just add
Sure.
different elements that appeal to a wide variety of people who are
Mm-hmm.
into that genre.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that
or
would definitely take the
even
game to the next level, I think.
yeah, I mean, even along the same lines, even if it's not like like, even if it doesn't end up being a complete single player experience, something that's like more akin to a training mode or something that
Sorry, yeah,
can
I didn't mean single player, but I guess more like a campaign mode, story mode type of thing.
yeah. No, but that's what. But even I mean, single player story mode, single player, like whatever, like something that can ease players also into the game a bit. Because like you were saying before, it sounds. I mean, Onward is pretty intimidating. The systems are pretty complicated, and that. it only gets further complicated by the fact that you're getting in there with a bunch of people that have played the game a ton and are amazing at it already. And, everybody tries to support new players as much as they can, but, having a single player campaign or some kind of a more in-depth tutorial mode than what's already there could benefit. And that just seems like something that Valve or, something that additional resources can help to fund is stuff like that, I think, to polish those types of aspects of the game. So, anyways, yeah, it's pretty
Absolutely.
cool.
No, yeah, well, I mean, exciting times. Congrats again to Dante and for Onward to be where it is right now. Really, really excited to see where it goes. And so I know I'll be playing a lot more from here on out. But Ronnie, that's all I got on news. What about you, man?
Yeah, no, that's like we were saying at the beginning of the show. I literally just got into town, so I've been keeping up with stuff as I've gone. But yeah, I literally just got back to my place.
Man, so you've been away from your Vive for like a week now. You must miss that thing, huh?
Dude, I was actually thinking about it on the plane when we were talking about what we were going to do to get the podcast recorded and everything tonight. I just couldn't wait to get back here to play some games. So hopefully in the next few days I'm going to be able to play some of the stuff that I picked up from the winter sale. And I honestly kind of missed out on some of them. Since I was out so much, I didn't get to pick them all up, but that's not going to deter me from picking them up now, probably at a higher price than I would have otherwise. But.
No, there's definitely some good stuff, and I know this is turning now into a conversation just between me and you. But I picked up Arizona Sunshine, so whenever you're ready, let's do that campaign mode, and we can awesome. We can talk more about it on a future Game Talk episode as well.
Dude, I'm actually totally excited about that. That sounds like a lot of fun. So.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, we will cut this one here. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube. So please make sure you leave a review. It helps the podcast, helps support us, and helps us reach a wider community. And we do appreciate that. And on YouTube, we love starting and having conversations about anything related to VR. So wherever you can connect with us, please do. And we'll be back on Wednesday with another interview for you guys. So take care. Have a great rest of your week. I'm sorry, happy 2017. Happy New Year. Should have said that at the beginning. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great year, great week, great day, whatever, whenever you are listening to this. And we will talk to you guys again very, very soon. Take care.